Pirate Demon Hunter, an aggro juggernaut in the wild format of Hearthstone. You can see here, played an easy 20 games, came in at 17-3, 85% win rate. It's really a deck that allows us to blow out our opponents early. I've always been a fan of fast games, so if you're looking to get into the wild format and you're looking just for quick games, quick wins, and a fast ladder climb, Pirate Demon Hunter might be the deck that you want to take a look at. We're going to go over a quick overview of the deck itself, and then we're going to get into a little bit of gameplay. This is an aggressive board-based deck, so general game plan, we're going to want to get on the board early with some of our lower cost minions, and then we're going to look to build that board throughout the course of the game, potentially generating extra damage from cards like Ship's Cannon and Hose and Roughhouser, and really just looking to close out our opponent as quickly as possible. A couple of key callouts in the deck. We do have 2 copies of Mana Burn here. This is really just a way to be able to disrupt our opponent, take away their ability to be able to respond to our board by limiting the amount of mana crystals that they have access to. We are running both different versions of Patches the Pirate. You can see here one is going to shuffle in extra pirates into our deck, and the other one is actually going to be summoned from our deck when we play a pirate. So keynote here with Patches the Pirate, you don't ever want to keep this card in your opening hand. You want to throw him back if you're offered that. We would much rather him to be pulled out of the deck when we play a different pirate. Treasure Distributor, just a good way to be able to give our pirates extra attack. It's going to increase our ability to be able to deal damage to our opponent's face. The Adrenaline Fiend is going to give a attack to our hero every time a pirate attacks, so this can really just allow us to be able to push extra damage and leverage the pirates that we already have on the board. Parachute Brigand, we do want to keep this in our opening hand, but we don't ever actually want to spend money playing it. If we play a different pirate, it's going to pull out of our hand onto the board. It's just a good way to be able to cheat out a couple of mana at any point during the game. Ship's Cannon can allow us to deal a significant amount of extra damage, dealing 2 random damage to enemies every time a pirate is summoned. Summons are going to include pirates that are coming from the deck in the form of the Patches the Pilot pirates that have been shuffled into the deck, as well as Parachute Brigands that might be coming out of our hand, and also any pirates that are summoned from the location, the Dangerous Cliffside. Hose and Roughhouser, just a good way to be able to buff pirates that we have on the board. It's going to give them extra damage as well as extra health to increase their survivability. Magnifying Glaive is going to be a good card draw engine for the deck. Because the deck is so cheap, we're going to be playing cards out of our hand very, very quickly, and the Magnifying Glaive will allow us to be able to refill our hand and give us fuel to be able to close out the game. And 1 copy of Glide here. Again, this is just going to be a way to be able to get cards back into our hand. Sometimes we're going to need to be able to draw 4 cards with this, just to be able to find lethal damage for our opponent. General Mulligan for the deck, I would probably keep Mistake. I would keep Patches the Pilot. Again, you do not want to keep Patches the Pirate. We want this in the deck so that it gets pulled. Space Pirate would be a keep. Treasure Distributor would be a keep. Parachute Brigand we would also keep in our opening hand. And in some cases, we may actually want to keep the Ship's Cannon as well here. And I would always keep Hose and Roughhouser. Now, let's jump into some games. Up against Mage here, we don't want any of these. We're going to look for cheap pirates to get the game started. We want to get on the board early, quickly as possible. And a little bit of a bad hand for us here, so this game will showcase what we can do when we don't have an ideal hand to start with. Really just nothing good going for us to begin here. And we see that our opponent is playing a lot of start of game effects. And we're just going to hero power here, nothing else that we would really even want to consider doing. Opponent plays the Quest, so we know that we're going to be up against Quest Mage as well. While our opponent's going to be working on completing their quest, we're going to be working on setting their health total to 0 as quickly as possible. Space Pirate is the pickup. We're going to go ahead and put that in play. And you can see Patches the Pirate comes out of the deck just like we like. Could play the Mana Burn here. It would prevent our opponent from being able to make any play whatsoever next turn. But we're going to hold on to it, try to get just a little bit more value. Likely our opponent can just hero power to remove our 2/1. And that is exactly what they do. Pick up the other Patches. We'll go ahead and get him down. And we are going to Mana Burn. And we will again push the 1 with the hero power here. So this Mana Burn is going to force our opponent down to only 1 mana. going to limit their ability to be able to do much of anything, hopefully. The opponent can't actually do anything whatsoever. I'm going to go ahead and use Dispose Evidence, and really just to be able to outcast the Glide. Shuffling their hand back into their deck, they're only going to draw 4 cards. We're going to cut down on the amount of cards that they have, and then you can see here we're hitting a couple of the parachutes off of the patches. It's going to allow us to be able to push some additional damage. We actually hit 3. Maybe a little bit of a high roll there for us. And you can see here, opponent already down to 28, even on turn 4, with a really bad start from our side. Vast Wisdom, opponent probably just looking for a way to be able to remove a little bit of our board here. And a secret comes down as well, so I think the secret we would most like to not see would be the Ice Barrier for the 8 armor. Get down the Treasure Distributor, we do see it's going to be Explosive Trap, so we played around that by playing Treasure Distributor first. We really wanted to be able to stick the Hosen here because of the buffs that it's going to give our pirates on the board. And you can see this just allows us to push an additional 5 damage, and it's going to make our board a little bit more resilient against potential board clears from our opponent. And again, we see our opponent really leaning into random cards. And it looks like our opponent actually just concedes. You can see here, nice game for us. Actually with a slow start as well. If you're enjoying the video, please be sure and hit that like button. A little bit of a better start this game. We are going to be against a mage. It's going to be a 30-card mage this time. You can see we're able to get the Parachute Brigand out of our hand onto the board for free, and we get the patches out of the deck with that Treasure Distributor. So this game is going to showcase what we can do when we do get a little bit of a better draw and hit some of these early game pirates to be able to get us started. And once again, we're seeing a Quest Mage. We're just going to go ahead and Mana Burn and Hero Power here. That's going to lock our opponent out to 0 mana next turn. And likely they're just not going to be able to do anything at all. A little bit of Disruption. It's going to allow us to be able to get down this Hosen Roughhouser and start pushing additional damage. And we are going to stick to our plan here. And we're actually going to play the second Mana Burn. This is again going to push our opponent down to only 1 mana. So you can see the disruption from the Mana Burns here really hurting our opponent. They're at 14. We have the Hosen Roughhouser in hand, and they actually just give up. We were just absolutely destroying them this game with a good draw. Next up, we've got a Shaman. I'm going to go ahead and coin out the ship's cannon here. And probably expecting they're not going to be able to remove this cannon, and then we're going to be able to get some pirates with the Space Pirate in hand. Hopefully we'll be able to pull patches out of the deck, as long as we don't top deck it. That's exactly what we're going to do. And you're going to see here that the ship's cannon is just going to start shooting damage every time we summon a pirate. And I'm going to go ahead and Mana Burn here as well. Damage goes face. And our opponent with only 1 mana may actually just have to skip this turn. Again, Mana Burns early in the game, doing a lot of work for this deck. We'll get down the Adrenaline Fiend. That's going to pull the Parachute Brigand. And you can see the cannon again just shooting tons of damage. And we're able to just continue going face. End of turn 3, we've already done 16 damage to our opponent. One of the key features of the Hyper Aggro deck. Missile Pod coming down actually does pretty well, being able to clear up a couple of our minions here. Opponent looking for just any amount of tempo they can possibly get to be able to fight for the board. And you can see second Adrenaline Fiend, and then with the Magnifying Glaive here, we're going to be able to start to refill our hand. And we're also going to be able to have a weapon equipped for next turn if we need to play the location. And trying to decide if I need to trade for any of these minions. I would like to be able to keep Adrenaline Fiends if possible. Maybe able to keep one Adrenaline Fiend. And we actually draw second Magnifying Glaive, so we're probably not going to be running out of cards this game. And again, you see our opponent's health total. We've got him down to 13 here on turn 4. Actually, the Starship launch is actually a good play for them. It clears up our board relatively well. Full clear with the trade for him. And I'm just going to get down the Space Pirate and the location. And we will, of course, use the location first. And attacking is going to reopen. We're going to push as much damage as we can here. Set our opponent to 6. Yeah, that's not good. Opponent going to discover a Battle Cry minion. Not exactly sure what they could be looking for here that would allow them to clear our board and not die. They really need some type of life gain. They're going to go looking in their deck to try to find something. Brilliant McCall coming down. And with only one mana left, I think it's highly unlikely that our opponent is going to not die next turn. We still have one more location charge. We have the Magnifying Glaive, Hero Power. And it looks like that's going to do it for this particular game. We're going to be able to close out our opponent. Oh! I didn't realize that that minion had taunt. How embarrassing for me. So we're not going to be able to win exactly on this turn, but we should be able to set up lethal for next turn, barring any type of massive setbacks here. We're going to push as much damage as we can. Going to be able to push an additional 4 damage face here. We'll set our opponent to 2 and look to finish them next turn. Our opponent had no way to heal last turn, so we just have to hope that they don't top deck anything that's going to allow them to be able to recover a lot of health here. And even if they do recover health, we have a ship's cannon and a location to be able to summon a decent amount of pirates, get some 2 damage going off. And it looks like they're just not going to be able to prevent us from killing them this time. Go ahead and get down the ship's cannon here. See if we can get a cheeky lethal with a cannon shot face. Bullseye. Final thoughts for Wild Pirate Demon Hunter. You can see the deck. It's really just an aggro juggernaut. We overwhelm decks that have a little bit of a slower strategy. It's a great way to be able to play a lot of games quickly and be able to gain ranks quickly. I'm a big fan of the deck, and I think you will probably enjoy it too. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please hit that subscribe button so that you can see more from me. And if you're just interested in additional Demon Hunter gameplay, feel free to check out the Demon Hunter playlist on my YouTube channel. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.